So get settled so that you're comfortable. And it's not really a lovey dovey Valentine's Day kind of a loving practice. It's much deeper than that. Intention counts. Certainly compassion for ourselves. Reparations, making amends, that counts too. And right now, in this 20 minutes, we're not going to be going off and setting up a talk with somebody, probably. We're going to do a resting practice. And one of the things that we know about our own nervous system being settled is that we have much more capacity to love, to be loved, to connect. Trauma is inherently disconnecting. We disconnect from ourselves. We have core deficiency beliefs that really poison the water that we swim in. And as we heal, we start to experience those releasing out of our body, out of our system. One of the ways we do that is simple relaxation and breathing practices. We also do it when we work with the energy and sensations in our body, we work with the thoughts in our mind. We widen our window of tolerance. That's a huge part of healing. We widen our window of tolerance so that when we're uncomfortable, we can allow more than black and white. We can allow all of the nuances and complexities of humanity. Taking a deep breath, let it go. For the first several breaths, it's nice to focus more on the exhalation because most of us come in pretty tight and pretty full of catastrophic thoughts or full of tightness in our body, contraction. So letting your shoulders go, letting your gut relax, letting your breath soften and deepen, those really help. And then as we make a bit more space in this container, as our muscles start to relax and soften, we can breathe more deeply. So we literally open more space. And the in breath is where we receive. We receive fresh oxygen. We nourish the cells of our body with the fresh air. As you're breathing out, consciously let go of anything that you're holding on to. And that's so reflexive. It's our body. We hold things in our body. So you could wiggle around a bit or stretch or shake or just lie still and consciously relax that part of the body as you come to it. What's the tightest part of your body right now? Could you let some of that go? And then could you allow in the nourishment of the in breath? You're not gulping for air, but breathe enough that you have a good amount of air exchange going on in your lungs. Breathing out, letting your lungs empty. And breathing in, let them fill. And relax your stomach and navel center, lower belly, so that your breath can be smoother, more ease in the breath. Then let your breath come back to a resting pattern. And we can work with the letting go and taking in emotionally, mentally, as well as physically. As we're letting go, we could practice letting go of perfectionism, of judgment. What could you let go of or begin the process of softening around that would help you to be more settled, have more openness, more space? You could say that in your mind, letting go, exhaling, I'm letting go of. Healing, I'm bringing in. I'm allowing in or I'm welcoming. We might be letting in a possibility. I'm open to the possibility that I could accept myself unconditionally. And whatever comes up as a rebuttal in your mind, you could let that go on the exhale. The inner critic can get a bit active when we're doing a practice like this. I don't have to be perfect to be worthy of love and acceptance. In fact, that's not how it works. Nobody's perfect. And notice if the thoughts in your mind are creating any kind of change in your body. There might be an energy there, or you might be holding your breath a bit, or tightened up through your jaw or something. So notice that too. And let's zoom back out to the whole body for a moment. Let go of the thoughts in the mind. Notice what's happening in your body. And we could do a focus on the back of the body, the front of the body. Notice if you are restless or if you're really settled. Or somewhere on that continuum. We all are. Notice your forehead and eyebrows, your eyes. What are you worrying about, or what are the thoughts in your mind right now? Let's pause for a moment and see. We've just been stirring the water here, talking about unconditional acceptance, love. People can be who they are and how they are, that we could widen our window of tolerance around that. We might be noticing core deficiency beliefs are coming up. Well, the reason that they don't want to be around me is because of this, or the reason I can't let this go is because I hurt that person, whatever it might be. And notice the forehead and eyebrows, they often get kind of tight when we're ruminating or worrying. We have a lot of thought activity. Notice the sensation of air as it moves through your nose, the sensation of air on your face. Notice your mouth and your tongue. Let the hinges of your jaw soften. Your speech organs are still. If you're subvocalizing or if there's any kind of activity in your vocal cords, see if you could let that come to rest during the practice. That also helps to settle the thoughts in the mind. The whole of the face is soft and still, noticing the sensations of air. Notice your chin and your neck, your throat, sides of your neck and shoulders, back of your neck, and into the upper back. Let that whole area release. If you're lying back or supported through your back, you can let go of any holding there. You can let that completely soften. And even if you're sitting up without support, notice if you could soften anyway. We don't actually hold ourselves up with our stiff shoulders. As we come down into the chest and into the large muscles of the back, we're noticing that there's movement towards the lower part of that area. And if you're breathing up in the top part of your chest, then that's just a response that we've developed a habit of in our body. So to work with that, relax your belly. Let your breath drop lower. And we can anchor our attention into the rhythm of the breath. Especially as the breath becomes smoother and more continuous, it's very calming and soothing. Just to relax the belly and focus on the breath. Notice your legs all the way down to your feet and toes. Notice your shoulders and arms all the way down to your fingertips. And come back to watching the breath. We can watch the breath by noticing the movement of the body, and we can also really zero in and really feel the specific sensations of breath. As you're letting your breath kind of calm your mind, let that move a little bit to the background and bring your attention to your heart center, your emotions, your emotional center. And I'll just say a few sentences and let them drop in. We don't need to figure it out really. We're just letting them drop in and see what happens. I'm ready to accept myself unconditionally. And notice if your mind is bringing up any kind of resistance or if you're tightening somewhere in your body. I'm willing to let go of shaming myself. I can stop all of the judging, the measuring, the perfectionism. I could let all of that go. Just be present with how I am right now. How I am right now is actually just fine. I'm worthy of love right now. As I am, I'm worthy of being loved. Notice if there's anything in the way of that. What would have to change for that to be 100% true? I'm worthy of being loved right now, just as I am. And bring to mind somebody that you love and really see their face or just kind of bring them to mind using your senses and look them in the eye. Say, you're worthy of being loved just as you are right now. I don't need you to be different before I can love you. I love you right now, just as you are. And that might not feel true. And if that's the case, we could look at that and make a mental note to come back to that later. But often we're more open to loving other people as they are than we are to open to loving ourselves as we are. So if it's true that you love that other person, even with all of their complexity and not perfectness, see if you could just take a moment to tune into that for yourself. I love myself unconditionally. I love myself just as I am. I don't have to fix anything to earn my love. Notice what that feels like in your heart center and your whole body. And that might be something that feels true, or maybe it feels possible. It feels impossible, but maybe there's a willingness to engage with it. We're all somewhere on that continuum. So notice where you are and notice what you feel like in your heart. I'm open to that possibility that one day I could say, I love myself unconditionally, and it will be 100% true. Being on our own side and finding a way to let go of all of the restrictions that we might have around love is the most important healing work we can do. And I really wish for all of us that we can open into that more and more unconditional love and acceptance for ourselves and for other people too, but mostly for ourselves. I think it starts here.